lives and you're still stuck with the grief.
The
You're still
thing,
stuck picking up the pieces.
exactly. The thing about life is life just keeps going. And no matter when their life ends, your world stops along with it, right? And all you want to know is why is the world turning and how dare it turn when my life has been destroyed? It stopped a long time ago with his heartbeat, but why does everybody else keep going? And they have to go live their life, right? And they're not doing it to be mean or spiteful, even though to you in that moment it might feel that way, but that's because your feelings are extremely raw. You're raw. And so we're going to talk about
Well,
those quiet moments when you're by yourself. How do you
hey, Ryder.
how do you handle all that pain? And how do you handle that pain?
I stay busy.
Yeah,
Yeah, how you guys handle it? I try to stay busy.
I stay busy, but it's
I make
in
my content,
yeah.
I work,
And yeah,
I try to stay
making
busy.
content is a full-time job, but it's in those quiet moments. Maybe when you go to bed at night, maybe when you hear a song in the car, you're just sitting there just relaxing at work on your break or something. It'll come over you and the grief will just come all down through your body and you'll just start weeping. And what I did to and what I still do to this day, because it's a constant fight and it always will be, because his death is and their deaths are now a part of my existence. And that's just the way it is, and they're part
Yep.
of who I am. So now I have to learn how to deal with it. For me, it's not just social media and helping people on social media. It's
Yep.
music. Music is my thing. Music, I'm that kind of person that if I hear a song, I get goosebumps. If it touches me, I cry. I will bawl at a song. Like there's a song that I picked for today
Right.
where the lady was dying of cancer. She
Ah,
was dying of cancer and she wrote this song for her husband so he could have it to play.
that's so sad.
And it is
Trying to depress everybody?
no,
What are you
I'm
doing?
no.
Trying to, what are you
It's
doing,
literally the
Harlow?
most it's
Depressing.
the most beautiful song. It's about love.
Is this gonna be another foreigner
No,
moment
it's
where
not
you
gonna
play
be
a
a
sad
foreigner
song to
moment,
make
I
me
swear.
cry? Is that what's
Oh my God, y'all who's hating on foreigners. Somebody send the cops. Send the cops.
and
I'm just kidding.
let me explain what safe zone means. Safe space means is during this live stream, no one's going to be bullied. No one's going to be embarrassed. No one's going to be picked on. No one's going to be trolled. You feel safe in this chat room to speak about your own feelings if you want.
Absolutely.
You don't have to worry about being bullied. If somebody comes in and wants to run their mouth,
They're
they're
gone
gone.
instantly.
That's not what this stream
86.
is for.
That is not going to happen
This
here.
is a safe space.
We are not.
Yeah,
It
this
is
is a
not
safe space
about
for everybody.
depressing. You know what? I'm all over your butt, K fam, because you put all the blame on me for freaking shaving off your friend's eyebrows. That was not my
It's your
idea.
fault.
I may have suggested it, but have we met, sir? I'm a crazy lunatic psychopath. You don't want to listen to me. Are you nuts? Okay, we got Blizzy in the house. Hello, Blizzy.
What's up?
It's
What's
so
up?
nice to meet you. It's so nice for you to come in. No depressing songs. You know what? You start your own show.
I know you, Blizzy. Blizzy, you were on my panel. I know you, dude. You're on my panel.
Candace, hello, 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 sweet girl. We have
Hello,
Saul
hello.
Rosenberg. We have Saul Rosenberg. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, isn't that the guy that was
Yeah, I think that's a troll. I think that's a square troll. And when I can you guys just like honestly, can you junkies just respect one goddamn thing? Just one thing. Can you just respect this one stream? If you want to come in and pull your fuck shit in other streams, just this is the one stream. Just come on, show some goddamn respect. Show some moral decency for once in your fucking lives. Just
take a
once.
pill and hang
Show some
out with us,
decency.
you bunch of weirdos. We're chill as fuck.
Yeah.
We're bomb. So just kick your shoes off, sit back, light one
Yeah.
up, drink what you got, live like how you living, chill out, listen to some good music, cry with us, laugh with us, hug us. We're chill, cool ass, freaking bomb ass people. You weirdo, what is wrong with y'all? Okay, I'm done. Okay, Saul. I don't mind you being here.
Yeah,
You can
bye-bye.
chill. You can.
You want me to okay, you good?
No,
All
he's
right, never
good.
mind
He's good.
then.
He's not bothering anybody.
Alright, I got it.
Until he
Yeah,
bothers
all
somebody,
right.
he can
I fixed it.
hang. We'll pass one to
I
him.
fixed it.
We'll pass it to
I
him.
fixed it. All right. Harlow's giving you a pass for now,
I'm
so
the
if she
nice
gives you a
one.
pass,
I'm the nice one. Bambi's cutthroat. She just cut him off. She just
I'm not messing around with fuckery. This stream is to help people. This is a
exactly.
support group. This isn't for fuckery,
No,
you know. And just show some respect.
it's to help
I mean, these
people.
are people who are greedy.
It's to help people. It's to support. It's to give some people a place to go, to laugh, to cry, to know that they're not alone in
They're
this.
not
They're not
alone.
alone in this journey. This journey sucks.
Yep, they're not alone.
This is the shittiest freaking journey I've ever been on. And I wouldn't wish this on my worst freaking enemy out there. But you know what? I'm so glad I have all you guys to like help me through it.
I'll be up. The Sisters in Grief Club is the worst club I've ever been in, and it sucks. It's not a club I chose. It's just, unfortunately, the club that God has dealt me.
But you know what?
It's
a double-edged
I couldn't ask for a
sword,
better
though.
sister in grief, though.
It's a double-edged sword, right?
No, I couldn't ask for a better sister.
Right, because
Yep.
it's like we don't want to be on this journey. We'd rather them be alive. But then, since we are on this journey, what better people we could have found right here in this stream, right here in this chat.
Exactly.
We have amazing people in this chat. I have met amazing people through Sisters in Grief, through Hot Talk with Harlow, through Bambi's shows on her channel, with
Amazing, strong
yes,
people.
Fudgegate.
Amazing, strong
Not only
people.
that, Fudgegate. Jeez, God, we ain't even gonna talk about Fudgegate today.
Fudgegate. God, I'd be all mad over me making fudge and giving it to people for free. Never seen so many pissed off people in my life angry over fudge.
This journey does suck donkey dicks. I absolutely agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And if anybody in the chat wants to come up and share a story that they're going through, if you feel like you want to talk about it, then you can. If you don't want to come up, that's cool too. You can absolutely just hang out in the chat, chill, and just listen to us. That's cool.
You share only what you feel comfortable sharing.
Absolutely.
Okay? Only what you feel comfortable.
Absolutely. And you just remember, grief journey is not just about being a widow or a widower. It's about the loss of your mother, of your father, of your best friend. It could be literally over divorce. You have to grieve.
Loss in general. Loss in general.
A lot of people act like, oh, they're divorced now, they should just move on. Do you realize that you have to freaking grieve that relationship? You went from having someone that you stood before God and took a vow to be with, legally everything. Usually they freaking go to the bathroom without you even closing the door anymore. Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying? And they're your safety net in life. They're your helpmate. And then you get a divorce, they have betrayed you or you have betrayed them, whatever the situation was, you have to grieve that situation. You have to grieve that relationship because that is no more or no less of a loss than any other kind of loss. And then there is the loss of a child. And unfortunately, I've dealt with all of it.
I have not dealt with that. And I hope I never do. Because like I said, the pain I feel over the loss of my husband is probably the exact same pain I would feel over if I lost one of my kids. Yeah. Honestly. Crippling. This shit's crippling.
It is crippling.
It's a crippling experience.
It is crippling.
You know, and I've had people ask me, how do you do it? I don't have a choice. As long as I wake up in the morning and my eyes open, I have to get up. I have to do things. I can't just get up, lay down, and die. As long as God makes my eyes open, I have to get up, work, eat, take care of my kids, do what I got to do every single fucking day, irregardless of whether or not I live half alive. I don't got a choice. Until I die, so as long as my eyes open, I have to get up. I can't lay down and just wither away. I just can't do that. This is not my personality, and that's really the reality. is as long as your eyes wake up in the morning, you can't just lay there. You have to get up. I mean, you have to. Physically, you have to. Mentally, I mean, you don't really got a choice. I don't have a choice. Oh, it looks like we have a guest
We sure
backstage.
do. Hold on 1 second, sweetheart. I'm coming. I am coming for you right now.
Oh shit!
I'm
Watch
an
out.
old person.
Ain't that kind of stream?
I'm an old
Ain't
person.
that kind of
I'm
stream?
an old person. It takes me a while to get
Hey,
to the
Marta,
door.
good to see you.
Hey.
Thank you for coming, Marta.
Hello, beautiful.
Hey.
How are you?
Well, something that this okay, so I've got a lot of grief I don't deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I guess I was just gonna like kind of open up and share.
All right.
Okay. Floor is yours, sweetheart.
There was one year, 2015, I was a freshman. We were losing everybody back to back to back. We had like 15 or 16 funerals that year. I thought it was over. Thought the death was over because you become so numb to it. It doesn't even bother you anymore. Thought it was all over. And then January 22nd, 2016, I lost my best friend. And I will never forget that day that I lost Daniel. It didn't even feel real. I had a best friend of mine come up to my room after school and she's like, Cheyenne, I got to tell you something. And she starts crying and I'm like, what happened? She's like, Daniel died. And I was like, what? No, I couldn't even process anything. It didn't feel real until I went with her boyfriend to the hospital. And I saw our mutual friend standing outside the hospital. His face was beet red. And that's when it hit me that it was real. And I went into the hospital and there's my best friend laying on a table, lifeless. There's blood in a container on the wall. I was in the room when they read his last rites. I was standing right next to his mother. That was,
and he was 16 years old. He was a child.
Was 17.
Cheyenne was 16 when this happened.
He was 17.
And how old were you when this happened?
A blood clot. And I will never.
He had a blood clot.
Ever forgive the weightlifting coach at my school, because when he complained of chest pains, and Daniel was a heavier set guy. When he complained of chest pains, the coach thought it was just because he was overweight and told him to push through it, and rather than letting him go to the nurse.
When he had a blood clot that killed him.
He
instantly.
How it went down was his mom kept him home for school for 3 days. We didn't think nothing of it. We thought, okay, Daniel's just sick. The third day, his mom was finally going to take him to the doctor. She just hadn't gotten around to it. She was finally going to take him to the doctor. He said, Mom, I don't feel good. Collapsed down the stairs.
Oh my God.
That losing a friend. And
dang.
Well, let me tell you something positive. This kid is so strong. Okay, so strong. This kid right here on panel. That weekend of her best friend dying, she had to go audition for America's Got Talent. She drove to was Chicago and auditioned for America's Got Talent, even though she was suffering with just losing her best friend.
He died a day before my audition.
She's
a day before I was supposed to audition. He always pushed me. He was like, you should go on American Idol. You should go on America's Got Talent. You would win. You would win. I finally get my audition, and he died the day before.
Oh, honey, I guarantee you he was right there backstage listening to every word.
She was going to cancel, and I said,
oh, God, no, don't do that. What did you sing, Shy?
She goes,
what did you sing, if I might ask?
So I had 2 songs picked out. I had Here by Alyssa Cara, and I had Mama's Broken Heart by Miranda Lambert. And Mama's Broken Heart was the one I auditioned. I had people with me, and I was like, which one sounds better? And they went with Mama's Broken Heart.
Oh my goodness. Isn't that just like you to sing Mama's Broken Heart, though? Because I love that song. That's Fix Your Makeup, Girl. And oh my God. Yeah. It's just a breakup. Yeah. Just basically says the song is basically telling you to hide your feelings.
Yep.
And isn't it just like you to do that?
Yep. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I thought that was the worst day of my life until I lost my dad.
Mhm.
That that and, you know, when I was in the hospital room with Daniel, it was at the same hospital my dad was at, ended up being at. When I was in the same room with Daniel, I thought I saw his foot twitching underneath the sheet. I My mind was playing tricks on me,
Mhm.
so I had to leave. The same thing happened with my dad, and I couldn't do that to myself. I could not be there. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I thought his neck. I thought he was twitching his head, and I I hate that hospital with all my heart. I hate that hospital.
It's not the hospital's fault.
It
It's
is
Just
though.
the hospital did
It
everything
is.
they
It
could.
is. Rather than focusing on the problem as a whole, they identified one issue, and when they finally fixed that issue, it was too late. He went into multiple organ failure.
Mm. Yeah, my family don't like the hospital up in Dayton. I think it's called Atrium Hospital or something like that. It's where my sister died. And I had a cousin die there too, but my father would not. If the world was ending and the only place Jesus was where he could save your life was Atrium Hospital, he would have never stepped a foot back in that hospital again because of her taking her last breath in there. Because see, she was on life support, and we were talking about how our parents were baby boomers. My dad's silent generation. He was before the baby boomers, right? So according to him in his mind, if he was when she was on life support, she had a heartbeat, she was breathing, she was alive, even if she didn't have any brain activity. She was alive and God was going to wake her up. And if you would just give her one more day, just one more day. And it was heartbreaking to watch him stand alone and fight her husband and her kids and everybody else except me because I wasn't fighting him because I understood because that's his kid. Let him fight for his kid. Give her one more day. One more day, even though I knew better, but just to give him a little bit of peace, but they wouldn't hear it. They wouldn't hear of it. And when they did finally turn her off and she stopped breathing, her son ran out the door and I ran after him, her boy, and he just kept running around the parking lot. That was his way of coping. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to be. Nobody could touch him. He did. If you tried to hug him, he would push you away. He'd say, "Please don't touch me. I don't want to be hugged. I don't want nothing. Just don't touch me." And he just wanted to run. He had to run, and so we let him.
I think
It was
that was the
awful.
hardest part for me was how it affected my siblings, having to stand there while they cried on my shoulder, and there was nothing I could do.
And you feeling like you have to be strong for them.
There was just nothing I could do.
Nothing.
And I hate
Yep.
those situations. I hate that.
Oh, I know. It's awful. It's awful. I remember when I called my husband's kids to tell them that their daddy had died. And I went outside. I went on the porch. He died December 10th. It was snowing. I'll never forget how cold it was. And I went outside. I didn't feel a thing. I was in shock. And as soon as I heard Kadrina answer the phone, I couldn't get the words out. So I said, Kadrina, let me talk to your mama. And as soon as I said that, Kadrina knew. She was 14. She knew. Mikey was 10. And Mikey was his dad was his biggest hero. Just everything. His dad was his everything. Every step he took, he wanted to take with him. And I told Jennifer. Jennifer lost it. Okay. And his ex-wife. And she told him, she said, "Will you stay on the phone with me And I said, yeah. She said, why? Tell the kids. And I said, yeah. And I said, okay. And she told them, and I'll never forget the wailing sound, the just absolute wailing of Mikey in the background. I never heard the sound of a heart breaking in real time. I'll never forget that. As long as I live, I'll never forget it.
I'll never forget how my brother reacted. He saw my dad once, would not see him again while he was on life support, did not see him at all after that one time, and he kept saying, "Dad's dead. Dad's dead."
He knew. It was so weird. Like the pizza versus attorney at law. I was standing there. He walks in and he goes, I give him 0 chance of survival. 0. And I remember looking at him like, the fuck you on about? I'm like, what do you want about? He knew.
What I don't like is how the doctors would not tell me straight up. And they kept giving this false hope.
Well, they
Just
can't.
be blunt
Legally,
with me. Just tell me.
Well, unfortunately, Cheyenne, with things like that, they didn't know. There's not some tests that say, oh, you're going to die. I mean, that's not.
They did
In a
know,
situation
though,
like that, they have to wait. They didn't know.
When he started, when his pupils became unresponsive, that's a sign of loss of brain activity. They know. When his body started producing formaldehyde gas, that's formaldehyde they use in preservation of funerals and bodies. His body thought he was dead. They knew.
Yeah, but legally they can't exactly, come out and say that
they
to your
can't.
face. Legally, they can't.
You
It's a
know,
medical ethics thing.
You know what's crazy to me is I was lucky enough to when they this is how it happened with Michael. Michael had his gallbladder. His gallbladder went bad on him during taking these chemo pills that were $50,000 a month, and they were so they were in testing, right? It was crazy. They weren't on the market yet. Every time he opened the bottle, he would twist the cap and he would go do 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 like that, and then he would close the bag and go do 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 do, and it had like some kind of a thing in it where it would send all the information to Texas, the people that were making these pills. Yes, because it was some kind of experimental medication.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't. And Michael, I said, Michael, what if it hurts you? And he's like, but what if it helps? If it doesn't save me, and we know that it's not going to save me because it's too late, but if it does something bad or something good, it'll help in the future.
Yeah, maybe it'll help in the future.
What do you say? What do you say to that? And so I just was like, okay. So his gallbladder went bad over it. So they went in there. You know how they do gallbladder surgery, laparoscopically.
I've had my gallbladder out. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah,
I've had
the most painful surgery ever.
Yeah, I've had my gallbladder out. Yeah, I've had mine out. I've had my appendix out. I had everything out. So
yeah, same.
I'm at the hospital thinking, okay, so it's not a big deal. I was by myself. Hour and a half goes by. Okay, he's a cancer patient, so they're being thorough. 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Almost 5 hours goes by, and I finally start screaming at people. Where the fuck is my husband? I want to see him. And then the nurse comes and gets me, and she takes me into an office of the surgeon. And that's when I knew right then and there. I knew that, okay, this is it. So he comes in there, and he's like, I need to show you something. And he said, these are from the camera, where we use a camera in there. And his liver was completely 100% covered smooth with cancer. And when they biopsied it, the cancer that he had on his liver was not the cancer that he was diagnosed with, but it's the cancer that killed him. So the medication killed my husband. My husband did not die from chromophobe kidney cancer. Chromophobe kidney cancer was 90% in remission from this medication, but the side effect of this medication was cancer, and it gave my husband liver cancer and killed him. He died a month later. Yep. And he told me, he looked at me and he said, this is the beginning of the end. And I was like, what does that mean? Just tell me, what does it mean? He said, get your affairs in order. And I got on the floor on my knees and was begging him. I said, I'll sign any piece of paper. I'll sign anything you want me to. I'll give you whatever I
Sell
have.
my soul to the devil. Yeah.
I said, I'll give you anything I have, my money. I'll sign my house over. Take my liver, give it to Michael, even if it just gives him a month, an extra month he has children. Please take it. And the doctor